some word that we say.
Really?
So just say one word at a time, and then just
Very
go.
slowly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, here.
So by Friday, you need to have read the rest of it, chapters 19 through 24. I'm sorry, no, wait. Today is, yeah, that's right, 19 through 24. I
Today is the 11th.
forget how many chapters are in
Oh, that's not bad.
this book. It's not bad. Some of the chapters are long, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to stuff that I can read it now without using something that focuses on one line only. Because I cannot read an entire page with absolutely no break for paragraph.
Yeah, he does that a lot. He does a lot of description, like tons of description. And then he does tons of dialogue.
I like the dialogue.
You like the dialogue?
Because I can actually read the
Even
dialogue.
if it doesn't get anywhere, it really doesn't seem to have a point for several pages. Just like kind of this back and forth, and you're like, get to the point.
Yeah. Like with Charles Darnay and Miss Manette, no, not Charles Darnay.
Sydney Carton.
Yes. When they're talking and he's like really sad, it's like you feel for him, but then it just keeps going. So you're like, oh, this isn't as good because it just keeps going. If it was short and sweet.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
All right, I will move you guys again. I will move you guys around. I will do assigned seating if you guys talk too much back there, all right?
Yay!
I'm serious. Middle of class, I'll be like, hey, come back up here. All right. So we're going to look at chapter 11. We're going to kind of fly through the summary because we really don't have that much time, and it was quite a few chapters. And some of those chapters were pretty long, like monotonously long, right? A couple of the chapters didn't even have that much going on in them to advance the story, but it is trying to build characters and their relationships with one another. We did get a few things that were revealed that are really neat to advance the story in a few of the chapters, and it kind of paints characters who you thought were like pointless or harmless in a completely different light now. Yes?
We're at chapter 11, correct?
We're at chapter 11.
Okay, so we get to talk about the idiot.
The idiot.
Sorry, the lion.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Sydney Carton, but yeah. There's quite a few of those in this book. All right. So Sydney, my favorite character, obviously. And we have, once again, Mr. Stryver, the lion, like you said, having a discussion. And so we're going to just summarize. We're not going to read much of this part. We're going to summarize it. Yeah.
I said idiot. You thought I was talking about Sydney Carton. So you think Sydney Carton's an idiot. Why do you like him?
Oh, you'll see throughout the whole book, and then by the end of the book, like his character development and the person that he becomes. That's actually the case with several of the characters where they start one way and then slowly they kind of change almost to a completely opposing view. And you'll see that. And we kind of see that a little bit with, oh my goodness, I can't remember the names. The honest tradesman. What's his name? Jerry, thank you. Jerry. I don't know why I can't remember his name when there's two Jerrys. All right, so this is, we're starting at a same night that Darnay makes his declaration to Dr. Manette, right? And Dr. Manette is like, don't tell me. I know it's something I don't want to hear yet. My heart can't take it. He relapses, right? We don't know Darnay's secret just yet. Well, we do, but he doesn't. And he approves of him going ahead with a marriage to his daughter, Lucy, right? But now we have kind of a weird love triangle, which really isn't a love triangle whatsoever, but enter Stryver. And he decides, you know what? Lucy would be a really good addition to all of my life's accomplishments, right? Why does Stryver want to marry Lucy?
Because she's pretty.
Because she's a golden-haired doll, right? Because she's pretty, why else?
Because he's dumb. And vain.
Let's see. He
I think
says it.
He likes the idea of being married more than he actually likes being married.
Yes, he likes the idea of it. It's one more kind of notch in his belt, like I'm really moving up. This is what you do. When you become successful, you get yourself a wife, and then she keeps the house, and you kind of got it made. Which is true, right? There's a sense in which that is true, but he's missing an element that you would normally have in a marriage, or at least somebody wanting to be married, and what is that?
Love.
Love. He doesn't love her. He doesn't even know her. He doesn't hang out at their house like Sydney Carton and Charles Darnay do. Right? They're constantly over there. But he's decided she's a charming creature. She's young, she's vibrant, she's beautiful. That's exactly what a man like me should have. So it's kind of this one-sided selfishness. And we actually see a comparison and a contrast. We talk about those a lot, and those are on quizzes that we have. We're still going to do comparison and contrast between the characters. We have this contrast between him and Charles Darnay. Why does Charles Darnay want to marry Lucy?
Because he actually loves her.
He loves her. How does he feel about Dr. Manette?
He loves her too.
He loves Dr. Manette. Sydney does not care for Dr. Manette whatsoever. All right. Darnay, he's respectful. He's humble. He's sincere. He's given up so much, so he's selfless in a way. And he deeply loves Lucy, and she has redeemed him. She has recalled him to life, right? So there's somewhat of a mutual, huh?
Oh, goody, more of that.
More of that, recalled to life. We're going to come back to it many times.
Yes, I know.
Get used to it.
Yes, I'm prepared for the torture of being recalled to life over and over again.
Well, not everybody's recalled to life.
Yay!
There's going to be some recalling to death, in a way.
Yes!
It is the French Revolution.
The first death has been the best death so far.
What was the first death?
Well, actually, no, the second death. The first death was the kid by the fountain.
What?
Are you?
Wait, the child that was run over?
Yeah, that one's not a good death. That was the
So,
second death, the one that gets stabbed.
Right, that comes back, and it actually plays a big role in setting off a lot of things as well. And that event is going to embody really most of the reasons that the French Revolution occurred. We talked about those. Remember, we gave like 6, 7 reasons why the French Revolution occurred. And it's like a mixture of them, right? And this is going to embody one of them, and we see that near the end of these chapters. I can't remember which chapter it is, but we'll get there.
Did
All
you
right.
have to say
Is
that?
that first?
What?
Was that
What did I say?
The reasons.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, that's what I thought.
All right.
Okay, good.
Okay, so Stryver's view of marriage is very much the view of Victorian society. It's a practical thing. It's an exchange. It's a trade. I make money and take care of you and whatever children we might have. You cook, wash, clean, raise those children, and we have this mutual agreement. Right.
I think that's kind of how Mr. Cruncher thinks about it too, because he does not love his wife at all. But it's kind of just this mutual.
Which one?
Mr. Cruncher, Jerry.
Mr. Cruncher doesn't love his wife at all. I don't even think he appreciates anything that she does around the house either. He just beats her and berates her, right? Tells her stop praying. All right, we're gonna come back to Jerry though. Jerry Senior. All right, so this is what we have. Sydney has decided, he's made up his mind, I deserve to have Lucy, and that would just be a step up for her because she really doesn't have, you know, all of the money and the accomplishment that I have, right? So this would be a good thing for her. Of course she would accept me.
Brain dead.
So then let's move forward to chapter 12. That was actually a short chapter.
Yay.
And since he has decided that they're going to get married, even though he hasn't even really spoken to her at all, hasn't even gone over to their home, Stryver kind of in his own little fantasy world, he heads over to Soho and he's going to go let Lucy know about this great news for her. That he's decided, Lucy, you know what? might not be good enough, but you know, I like some of your qualities and I think they could really add to me, and you would be so grateful to be married to me.
Lucky you, you get to be married.
Lucky you. So he's on his way there, and he's stopped by somebody. Who's he stopped by?
Mr. Dory. You say Dory, so I
Mr.
can say Dory.
Boris Jarvie. Joris Larvie.
Oh yes, Larvie.
Jarvis Lorry. Yes. Okay, Mr. Lorry.
He stopped by him purposely? I thought.
It's
Yeah,
almost
he stops
like.
by the bank on purpose, like, because he's
Yeah,
really
he
excited.
wasn't
Yes,
I gotta
he's-
tell somebody.
Well, yes, he's true. They have a conversation. He stops by Telson's bank, right? And he encounters him, and it's almost like everybody should be rejoicing in this decision that I've made. So I'm gonna stop by and I'm gonna tell him as well.
And then Mr. Lorry goes, do not do this. It's
Don't do
a
this."
stupid idea.
Well, he says it in a much nicer way, right?
I mean, yes, he says it much
How about
nicer.
you let me talk to them first, just to,
No,
kind
I
of
want to say
make
stuff.
sure that nobody is too overwhelmed by the news, right? I'll ask them what they think about it first. That way, you don't have to worry about it. I'll kind of act as like your mediator or somebody who's going to go and deliver this news first. Okay. And Sydney, he's first. How does he feel about that?
Doesn't really care.
He doesn't care. It kind of makes him angry. He's almost like offended at first. Like, how would you even suggest? Like, you think that I'm not worthy? You think that I haven't had enough accomplishment? You think that I'm not a good suitor for Lucy? And of course, Mr. Lorry said, no. Of course, I mean, you are as far as you imagine yourself, you're accomplished, for certain. So he's trying to make him to not be offended. And yet he wants to kind of get in between them because he knows that it's not going to be good news, and it would be much more of an embarrassment for Stryver as well as the Manettes. That would be embarrassing. Somebody comes to you and is like, you know what? I've decided that we're going to get married, and it's somebody that you don't even know or like. You're like, what? I don't think so.
So basically, Stryver goes and he's like, well, I don't think that I should marry her. She's not up to my standard.
Ultimately, this is what so Mr. Lorry goes to the Manettes, right? But in that whole time that he's going to do this and hopefully come back and, I mean, kind of slowly ease Stryver into the idea that, you know what, maybe she doesn't really want to marry you. Stryver just decides on his own, you know what, I don't even want to try because I'm definitely too good for Lucy. But really, what is he probably thinking? What? That there's probably a reason why Mr. Lorry has stopped him from going there and is saying, like, let me go and talk to them first. Probably she's either betrothed or she's not into it, right? So he saved him a lot of grief, actually, and he allowed him to keep his pride, which Stryver definitely wants to do.
Maybe you shouldn't have.
Maybe should have knocked him down a peg. I don't know. But we see Mr. Lorry a little bit more in his compassion and kindness and his wisdom in dealing with people. We see a little bit more of his character development as well, because in the beginning, he seems like a nice enough guy, but almost because he is working with these clients who have obviously paid him, right? The Manettes, they have been his clients for a long time. So he's gotten paid, so he works for them. Of course, he's probably going to be a little bit compassionate, but now we see him in his dealing with Stryver, and it's not just necessarily about protecting the Manette's affairs, but also, Stryver, you might not be the nicest, most humble guy, but I don't want you to be completely embarrassed in front of society. So we see more of.
Aw, why not?
We see more of how Mr. Lorry he's really compassionate. Okay, and we see more of how Stryver, bless you, we see more of how Stryver is just so insolent and annoying and just narcissistic, right? You might end up just with the only person who would be good enough for himself. alone.
Yeah.
He just might end up alone. All right, moving on to chapter 13. Like I said, we're gonna fly past these. But this is an important chapter, even though it's quite a wordy chapter. Not that it's long, it's just, it seems to only have one small point, but it will advance the story immensely. You just don't know it quite yet. All right, so the setup, we have Sydney. Now here comes Sydney, once again another love triangle type thing, right? He's been over at the Manettes many times, but when he's there, how does he act? Something in the last chapter that Stryver was kind of chastising Sydney about.
Aloof.
Aloof, the same way that he was in the court, right? He's just kind of, whatever, I don't really want to be here, but it's business as usual. He's not really paying attention. He's moody, he says. Stryver accuses him of being moody. He's very vague. He seems unhappy to be there. But what do we know about Sydney and his feelings toward Lucy Manette?
She's so pretty.
Yeah, internally he's at war with what he really feels about it. He does not want to like Lucy because
she's a golden-haired doll.
because it's the stereotype, right, of beauty, right? It's of course everybody likes her, like, and she's got it made. She's never been through anything difficult in her life, but he can't deny that she's actually a good person, that she's actually kind. Her beauty is not just external, it's internal as well, and that's been displayed with her father and with Charles Darnay.
No.
That's not good. That was only like 5 seconds.
I know. Oh.
I don't even lose my train of thought that fast. It takes me
Grayson,
like 7
you have
seconds
like a
to
whole
think
train
of-
yard of trains.
Oh, I remember. I think maybe he thinks he's not quite good enough. For
He
her
definitely
to
thinks
realize,
that.
Like, he's like, oh, I'm kind of a jerk. But like, he
Yeah.
doesn't think he can change. Also, so that's kind of.
Right, he thinks he's a hopeless cause. He's just completely lost cause. Yeah.
My train of thought is like 20 bullet trains going whizzing around my head.
That sounds about right. And some of them are on converging tracks.
And they
There are
crash.
several crashes.
So
There's
he
been
doesn't,
some crashes.
he doesn't believe he can change?
He believes that he's beyond help, essentially. Like, I'm just so, have you ever felt that way where maybe you've sinned so badly, or things just keep happening, you keep choosing the wrong things, and it comes to a point where you're like, maybe I'm just a loser. Maybe I'm just a lost cause. You ever feel
But
that way?
didn't he say he would do anything for like their family?
So let's
Couldn't
go
he
through this.
change for
Let's-
their family?
Yeah, let's go through this chapter.
Woohoo!
Okay, so Carton essentially goes there, why? Somebody who hasn't answered yet. Lincoln, why does Sidney Carton go to the Manette's house?
I do not remember.
Who does he want to talk to? There's only like 3 people who live there. Who could it possibly be?
After that.
It's Lucy. He wants to talk to Lucy,
Totally get it.
which he hasn't wanted to like ever. So this is weird.
Why didn't you let me answer?
Because I know you know the answer. Sometimes I'll forget something and you're like, actually it's this. I know you have it down. Plus, Mrs. Schaff told us last week, remember, that you're also going to be graded partly on participation in class. So in order to get you to participate and to know how to grade you, I need to be calling on some of you who haven't been participating. Because maybe you just haven't been participating because you know the answer, but you just don't want to raise your hand and speak and you're just listening. I need to be able to gauge that. So I'm going to be calling on some of you. So should be reading, at least getting a summary of what these chapters are about. Okay? Because I doubt I go through an hour lecture and then you guys just remember all of it. I hope you're taking notes if you haven't read. All right, so we have chapter 13. We have Sidney. He goes over to the Manette's house. He wants to talk directly to Lucy. Why does he want to talk to Lucy Jackson?
Wait, who is it?
It's Sidney. It's Sidney Carton.
Sydney Carson.
Sidney Carton the jackal. He heads to Manette's house, wants to talk to Lucy. What does he want to tell Lucy?
Because he wants to wed her.
Kind of, but not really.
Okay.
Who else? Freddie, why does he want to go over there? You've listened to the audiobook. I'm sure you've gotten this far, right?
Yes. I just can't remember it.
All right, so we have some of you who are maybe not reading like you should be. Yes, Evan.
He wants her compassion and sympathy,
For why?
the way he acts and lives, and how he believes he's past help,
And why does he want this? Why is this important to him? We know why.
because he likes her.
He loves her. And he's finally seeing that, and he's almost working his thoughts out as he's speaking to her. It's almost like at the same time that he's talking to Lucy and giving this confession, he's admitting to himself and her at the same time that he actually loves her. But what else does he say though? Because he could say, I love you, will you marry me?
No.
He doesn't say that though. What does he say, Riley? Essentially.
He like expresses his feelings and then is like, don't ever mention this again, right?
I mean, yeah, he says that he's not good enough for her, right? That he's essentially beyond help once again because of his circumstances, and also admits to his own faults in his own decisions throughout his life. So it's not like he's just saying, oh, I've just had a bad breath. It's just been all these people have been cruel to me and I got just a bad lot in life. No, he's taking responsibility. He's made so many wrong choices that he is, as we said, I think last week or the week before, he's the anti-Darnay. He's like the opposite of Charles Darnay. Charles Darnay also had some bad lots in his life, saw how bad it was, but decided to change for the better. He's trying to escape that past and make a better life for himself now. But Sidney Carton, on the other hand, he had all the same opportunities as the lion, Mr. Schreiber. They went to school together. They graduated together. In fact, Sidney Carton is a lot smarter and more perseverant. Drunk, yes. Well, yes, but he's more like ambitious than Schreiber, and yet he works under Schreiber, and he gets no credit, and he's not moving forward in life whatsoever. In fact, he wastes his money on drink, right? So he has no one to blame but himself, and he's finally starting to do that. The previous chapters, we saw him blaming everybody else. Right? We kind of saw him, it's just my lot in life. I've just been dealt a bad deck. And it's not the case. It's really that he had it fairly good, but he made a lot of wrong choices. And he still is. But now he's admitting that to Lucy, and he's also declaring his love for her, but at the same time saying, I'm gonna burden you with all of this secret that I have, all of these feelings, right? I'm gonna burden you with this, but we're not gonna go any further than that. In fact, forget I ever said it, just keep it, lock it away in your heart. I'm gonna go away. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad for Lucy as well, because what does she say? Let's see, somebody I haven't called on. Eliza, what does Lucy say about all of these confessions that he gives? What's her reaction?
Well, she thinks that he can do better and she wants to help him do better.
Yeah, that's Lucy. That's her personality, is she believes that no one is beyond saving. Okay. And she's kind of proven that. She's recalled many to life already, in a way. So, but he tells her, no, it's not your burden. This is my burden. I have to live with my decisions that I've made.
So I just tell you everything about my burden and then tell you not to tell anybody else, so that it becomes your burden to keep it a secret.
Yeah, in a way, it was a little bit selfish of him to say all of these things, but also in a way, he was working out these feelings that he's having as he's having them. And he had just come to this realization. So we see some character development, and we see the relationship development between them. There could possibly be a mutual love and respect between the two characters. And yet, unlike Darnay, who says, I don't feel I'm worthy of her love, but I want to try. Carton says, I'm not worthy of your love, and I do not want to try because I don't deserve it, and you don't deserve someone like me. I would be a burden. I'm not good enough for you. You deserve better, okay? So we have some similarities and some differences there as well. So, we also have a comparison between Dr. Manette and Sidney Carton. They are both imprisoned, but one was physically imprisoned and is still, you could argue, imprisoned by his own mind, and Carton as well, imprisoned by his own actions and his own mind as well. He can't be loved. I'm just unworthy of love. I'm unworthy of anything good in life. And so we're going to see him continue to develop beyond this. He's not going to stay in that place either. He's working out these feelings, and he's working out the things that he's recently seen, like in court. And Lucy Manette with her father, Lucy Manette with Charles Darnay. He saw a glimmer of hope in Lucy and what she's done. So maybe the world's not all that bad. In this case, moving on. Chapter 14.
Yay! We get to the two dummies. And the mother and wife.
All right, so we have more character development here. Because we are about in the middle of the book. We're going to be fleshing out some of these people and who they really are, and if they're possibly able to change. So we have Jerry Cruncher, Sr.
Dummy.
Okay, he's outside Tellson's Bank because that's where he works. He's the, go-between. And he sees, what does he see going by?
A funeral.
Funeral procession.
With a bear trainer.
With a bear trainer. What are they yelling?
Yay!
Spies.
Yeah.
Something.
Spies. 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 But, I mean, it's a funeral procession that's going by. There's a big crowd that's following. Usually these would be mourners who are following behind the coach that has the coffin. But instead we have a huge mob, and they're yelling spies. Okay. Who is the spy that they're referring to, John?
Not there yet.
You're not there yet.
I'm sorry.
This is important as well. It seems to kind of pop up and then you're like, okay, I'm done with that. I guess it was just supposed to show me how the people are. But this is something that will come back later in the story. Yes?
Oh wait, what's his first name? I forget.
Isn't
It's
it Roger?
the end is Clyde.
Roger Clyde.
Yes.
Who was Roger Clyde? You should have heard that name before.
Yes, but I can't remember.
Just maybe a couple times in passing in one of the chapters that was having to do with Charles Darnay's trial. Does it ring a bell?
Was he in the coach with Jarvis Lorry?
He was one of the two men who were testifying against Charles Darnay and calling him a spy. Okay. So they were trying to get he was one of the people who was trying to get Charles Darnay hanged or beheaded.
Beheaded.
So now we have Roger Clyde in his coffin, on his way to his grave, and a bunch of the funeral procession is just yelling spies.
Yay!
So they're angry. They're not happy. They're not, yay, spies, yay.
No, they're like,
They're-
yay, he's dead.
They're
Yay,
celebrating
he's
the
dead.
death, but they're still angry as well. Even in death, they're still angry at Roger Clyde. This has gone beyond just, we want justice. This is at the level of, we want revenge, we want vengeance. There's a big difference between justice and vengeance, okay? Vengeance is not ours to deal out. If you remember in scripture, it says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Okay, but justice is supposed to come at the hands of the state. We're also supposed to do justice, right, to each other. But justice is specifically given to the state, the governing authorities. They are equipped with the sword. Why? To wield it, to do justice. Okay, that would include executing heinous criminals. Okay? So, we can see that happening, right? There's some criminals that are maybe getting the justice that they deserve by the state, but we're going to go on and even in the next chapter and see why that's not really the case. Okay, so he sees this go by. What does he do? What does Jerry Cruncher do?
He goes and asks them what's happening.
Yeah, why does he want to know?
Because he likes funerals.
He likes funerals. They're just happy, super fun.
He likes digging graves.
Why does, yeah, he's a grave digger. What is the word that the term that they use? A resurrection man. How does that fit with our theme of recalled to life?
I mean, resurrection is a form of
It is, right? Yeah. It's a perverse form of this recalling to life. The way that Lucy Manette is recalling to life is pretty selfless and innocent and holy, and yet here we have this unholy recalling to life. Not really recalling anyone to life, but Jerry Cruncher goes and digs up the bodies. Why?
Does he take their body parts to sell them?
I still don't understand why he did
What?
that.
Yeah, doesn't he sell their body parts or something?
So back then,
Doesn't he take the money?
he
and
sells
stuff?
the whole corpse. He doesn't have to like distribute body parts. So he sells the whole corpse. Back then, a lot of our medical advances have actually come from people who would go in and study on corpses and they weren't supposed to. And they were taken from their graves by grave diggers. So it was unethically sourced, right? So Jerry Cruncher is providing all of those medical students and doctors who want to do these research and experiments and things to better help society, but doing it in a way that is immoral and illegal. All right, so that's what he is. That's where that, remember the rust, where's the rust under his fingers? Where's that come from? It wasn't rust, really, was it? I mean, it was probably not blood either, because they're probably long deceased. This is dirt. It's dirt. Okay? There might be some blood mixed in there as well. It could be symbolic. But we have then young Jerry. He decides to follow his father. Why does he follow his father?
Because he wants to see his fishing.
He's fishing. He wants to see what on earth, where does he go at night? What's my daddy doing? Because he loves daddy. He wants to be just like daddy.
He wants to be
He's
a
Jerry
resurrection
Jr.
man.
He hates his own mother and he loves his father. He's this reprehensible man. And so he follows him, and what does he see?
Them
Sees
digging
him
up
digging
the
up a
person.
body.
Was it did little Jerry imagine that the person was running after him or the cop?
No, he thinks that, like, he's so afraid by what he sees that he starts to run home and he imagines the coffin is actually bouncing along after him. Because he doesn't see the body, he sees his father digging up the coffin and they're trying to pry it open. And that's when he gets out of there because it scares him.
How old is like Jerry?
I think he's like 14, I think.
14?
Dang.
Isn't that what it says?
I don't think it
He's
says how old
becoming
he
a
was.
man. Yeah, he's like 14. I think back then that was
I
the
thought he
age.
was like 10 or 12.
I believe he's 14. So I think that's what it said, but I could be wrong. You'd have to go back and look.
He
But
doesn't seem like he's 14.
he's right there kind of on the cusp of like boyhood, manhood. He's right in between, and this is why the conversation between him and his father in the morning is so impactful on his dad, because what does Jerry Jr. tell his dad?
I
Matthew.
want to be a resurrection man.
Matthew is supposed to tell me how does Jerry Cruncher take that news about his son wanting to be a grave robber?
Doesn't he like not like it a whole lot?
No, it's the opposite.
No.
He's very proud that he wants to be just like dad. Okay.
I want to do exactly what you do.
And then Jerry Cruncher beats his wife.
Yeah.
It's not a joke, he literally beats his wife.
Yeah.
All right.
I like Charles Dickens' word picture though, with him going fishing. It makes it like seem nicer, and it's very
He's an
interesting.
honest tradesman, right? And he's trying to make his money with his crop, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't
He's-
the rust get brought up again under his fingernails? Because doesn't Jerry Jr. basically say like, oh, is your fishing pole rusty?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we know what's going on. And there's more secrets that are being brought to light now, right? We're seeing more of that character development. So now we see Jerry Cruncher. If we thought he was bad before with the way he was talking to his wife, we can see he's really bad now. He's even worse than we thought. Okay? So let me read this portion here. This is just part of an analysis. It says, Dickens uses the funeral procession to demonstrate how easily a rowdy crowd can become a destructive mob. The actions of the crowd turn a solemn occasion, a funeral, into a festive one, with many of the crowd members not even aware of the cause of the uproar. They just see something's going on and they're like, yeah, let's go join in this.
Yeah.
The momentum of the mob has swept them up, and they follow whatever spontaneous commands they hear. In this way, rational thinking individuals become mindless members of a violent entity. We're going to see more of that. Okay, we're going on to chapter 15.
Oh, goody, knitting.
Okay, this one really gets the story going.
Yes, it is.
Why is it called knitting?
Because of the wife, Madame, whatever.
Why is this important?
She's always.
Because
She's
she
knitting.
thinks there's like a spy there, but she's being.
Yeah, why does she knit? What's the purpose of the knitting?
Does she?
This was a
Maybe
little bit
burial
maybe
shrouds.
confusing.
Does she actually
It's not
knit,
burial
like,
shrouds.
not records,
She says-
something else like some registers or something
Shrouds.
into her knitting.
So, yes, so we'll see, she says it's shrouds, right? But it's not. In
Makes
fact,
everybody
nobody
leave her
is
alone.
wearing these shrouds whatsoever. We never see those shrouds actually in broad daylight. She keeps them all.
Isn't it like I guess almost for taking notes about people that come in now?
Yeah, this is a register. She's registering information. In fact, the information is people and their descriptions. So let's talk about that. So we have early in the morning, we have not only the Defarges, we have some Jacques coming.
Jacques 1, Jacques 2,
Jacques 2, Jacques 3, Jacques 50, Jacques.
No,
They
no,
have
no,
all these
Jacques
different
1,
Jacques.
Jacques 2, Jacques 3, and Jacques 5.
Isn't that crazy that name is just so popular back then in France, Jacques? What is this pointing to? Why are they all named Jacques?
Because
They're
they're part of a secret organization.
part of a secret organization, yeah, in France.
Conspiracy theorists.
Yeah. What are they exactly? Do you know?
Government spies.
No, they're
Just like
trying to
Grayson
revolt
Spy.
against.
Kind of the opposite.
revolt
Yeah.
against the-
Yeah, they are spies, yes, but they are kind of creating this underground revolt they want to start, which we know we're getting to the French Revolution, right? So where the term Jacques comes from do you know where the term Jacques comes from? Why are they called Jacques? This is
No.
an actual historical thing.
No, I don't know that. I was gonna ask you something.
What are you gonna ask?
When do we get to the part where she gets a knife?
Hang on. All right, so in 1358, there was a huge, bloody French revolt. But this is 1358. This is hundreds of years before now. Okay? The people who revolted were peasants who were sick of the feudal system. They were starving. You're seeing the same thing. History repeats itself. Okay? They were called the Jacques. Jacques, it's like Jacques and then R-I-E on the end. Jacques, and it was just meant to represent the common man. And they revolted, and some noblemen were killed, and peasants were killed, and it was a great
Yay.
big deal. So that's where this comes from. A bit of history there. So we have all these Jacques. Why are they there?
Conspiracy
They
theorists.
talk about the guy that got hanged.
To talk about the guy that got hanged. Now, Chloe, I think you asked me last week, was that guy on the back of the carriage, was he hanging himself? Or had he been hanged or something? No, that's why I said, no, I don't think he's been hanged. Because it came back to it in this one, and I hope it cleared it up. Who was the man who was on the carriage?
Who's the father of the kid that got ran over?
The father of the child who was mercilessly just run over, and the Marquis didn't care whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
Right. This is where we're talking about how the justice system, the state, is supposed to be doling out justice, yet what is happening?
They're not. They're biased.
Justice.
They're completely corrupt. So if you're a peasant and you commit even the smallest crime, you're done. But if you're one of the aristocrats and you commit a heinous crime
Such as
worthy of death, nothing happens. Nothing. That cannot stand in a society. You cannot have the people longing for justice for so long and receiving not only injustice, just not justice at all, but receiving injustice toward themselves as well. You have the oppression of the poor and the widows and the starving and the homeless. And then you have this rewarding of the nobles and the aristocrats and the rulers. We have a psalm that talks about that in scripture. I think it's Psalm 16, where the Lord talks about rulers of earth. Do right, do justice. Don't be corrupt towards the poor. Don't favor the wealthy. Also don't favor the poor, right? Be unbiased. Yes?
When do we have to leave?
When do we have to leave?
Like when this class ends?
I don't know when this class ends. I'm thinking I have an hour. Are you at 11 or 11:10?
We start at 11:05.
11:05. Okay. Well, right in between. All right. We got enough time.
You have like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you got it's 10:55.
10:55 on my phone.
All right. So we now have. Okay, guys, listen. This is important too because this goes through the very end of the book. We have Madame Defoche. She's knitting again, and she's making registers with her knitting. It's not a hobby that she has, and she's not doing it to make clothing. Okay, it's not a necessity and it's not a hobby. She's doing it because she's part of an organization, her and her husband, underground, who are planning a revolt, and they're trying to recruit people into this. To revolt against who? Yeah. Go ahead.
The aristocrats.
Yeah, the government, essentially, yeah. The rulers, right?
Kill them.
Now, she knits the names and descriptions of people who are on their side or on the other side?
On the other side.
On the other side. Spies, right? And whoever she knits, what happens to them?
They die.
They're condemned. They die or they're gonna die, right? It's the plan of them to be dead. And, huh?
How does she does she
Yeah,
take a piece of paper and knit it
how does
in?
she actually
I'd have
do
to-
that? Is it like
numbers?
she just switches up her pattern and that's how
She
much
does it
that?
in code, and so it would be by pattern.
It says somewhere in there where like she adds an extra knot.
Yep.
for it.
She adds a certain amount of stitches, okay, into her knitting that she is able to decipher, and only she can. Even her husband says she knows, and whatever she knows is put into her knitting, and it's committed to her memory. She knows what it is. Yeah.
And then chapter 16, she's still knitting.
She's still knitting. She's always knitting. What does that tell you about Madame Defoche?
She's condemning a lot of people.
She's obsessed with vengeance. How does that compare to her husband? Because they have a conversation, and what does her husband say about the Manettes and Charles Darnay?
She doesn't like them.
Her husband says, I hope that they stay out of France. I hope they're gonna be okay. But what does she do? Anybody get this far? It's important stuff.
I did, but then I lost
She
it.
knits Charles Darnay's name
That's right.
into her knitting. She's not thinking the same as her husband. She is consumed with vengeance. He wants justice. Okay? He sees people as being people. There's some people who are not entirely corrupt. There's some people who it's not just black and white, and she sees it as nope, if they're not for us, they're against us.
What? They killed Charles
Not
Darnay.
yet. We don't know yet.
Nobody knows yet.
They do.
She knitted his name in there, right?
So
So he died.
It didn't say he died. I said when she knits, they die or they're going to die, right? They're condemned. All right, so she's working toward revenge. Her husband, however, is working toward justice. Yes.
Why would they kill him?
Let's move on.
I'm obsessed with this now.
We gotta go through these. We have like 3 chapters left. Okay.
Chapters in 2 minutes.
So,
okay?
Gaspard, the one who had his child taken from him by that marquis, who did not care that the carriage ran over him, he was the one who He killed the Marquis. He killed the Marquis.
Yay!
And what happened to him?
You got hanged.
He got hanged for it.
What?
So there was justice for this murder, right?
Reason no.
But there was no justice for him. And that's why he felt so compelled to try to gain justice, but he took vengeance. Okay.
What was this?
Moving on. A squeaky knife.
Yeah.
Oh, it's squeaky.
Yeah,
knife.
That seems like something great.
I was thinking like I wasn't sure what this was. I thought
All
I
right.
don't even know.
So we move on to chapter 17. It's the night before Lucy's wedding.
Yay! How dare they kill him?
And she discusses her marriage, and she's happy. She's happy, okay, because she can almost love anybody except for Stryver, I suppose. But she can almost love anybody. She's happy with Darnay. She could have been happy with Sidney Carton, but Sidney Carton could not have been happy because of his own inner turmoil.
Because he's angry.
And Dr. Manette is happy because he wants to see his daughter happy and taken care of, and he does think Darnay is a good person. But there's also some inner turmoil with him as well. So what do we see Dr. Manette do after Lucy gets married
He
the next day?
again.
He
and
relapses
He becomes
again.
very skilled with his hands, more so than ever.
For how long?
For 9 days.
9 days.
9 days. A
He
big
recovers
one.
though, right?
He recovers.
And then they burn his stuff.
They destroy his shoemaking bench and all of his tools.
Wait, they said.
Which they think it's, oh, this is the cause of it. If this is kept around, and he keeps going back to it. If it's not there, he can't go back to it. But that's not the cause of the turmoil that he's experiencing. That was just an outlet by which he's trying to escape the torment.
Is he gonna buy another one?
We're just gonna take a new hobby.
He buys anything. All right, so we're skipping forward. He knows who Darnay is. This is why he relapsed, right? It's obvious. We know why he relapsed. It's because Charles Darnay told him his real name. Why would that be a reason that he would relapse? We can guess.
The person who put him in prison, whatever.
We can assume that his family, Evlemont, has something to do with his imprisonment.
Good behind him. He's squeaking the squeaky bench.
Yeah, but it was John.
It wasn't.
Okay, last chapter. Hang on. Last chapter.
Oh dear.
We're still in the last chapter. Okay.
So he doesn't
So-
die until book 3.
He doesn't.
At least very late in book 3 because I flipped to a random page and I saw that.
Okay, so this is important. I'm going to refer you back to Madame Defarge. She
Okay.
knitted his name, right? Darnay. Now Darnay is married. What would that mean for
This minute also would die.
any children they might have? They're now Evlemonts, right? Not by name, but by blood. Evlemont, the whole line needs to be wiped out in Madame Defarge's eyes. They won't be safe because we know how the mob gets. Right? It does not matter. They're not thinking logically and rationally. They're thinking, I want vengeance. And all of the things that have been done to us, I'm going to do those now too. Give me a target.
Let's kill them.
Right, so this is very dangerous. Darnay has no idea, otherwise he would not have married Lucy because he wouldn't want to endanger her or his progeny after, right? But we have this impending doom now. So we're gonna end right there, and I want you to know that you have to finish out book 2 by the time we come back on Friday. Read it because we have a quiz on Friday. In class, same type of quiz, probably the same amount of questions. It will be open book, yes, but here's the kicker. There were more than double the amount of chapters in this book that we're having a quiz on, which is book 2, than there were in book 1. So having open book is not gonna be that easy. It's not gonna be as easy as it was for the first quiz, because you'll have more than double the amount of pages to try to flip through and find answers. So you need to know these things. A lot of what we talked about in class is what we're going to be discussing on the quiz. So I hope that you listened or took notes, okay? If you didn't, I recorded everything. You can go on the YouTube channel for Prairie Scolay's YouTube channel, and you can look at it. Yeah, so in the email, if you get the email, under my update, all it has is a link to the lecture, here's your update, cause it's, everything is in there, it's all recorded, so, that's what it is, yeah.
I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, the last quiz was open book.
Last quiz was open book.
Darn it.
Did
I
anybody
forgot.
bring a quiz that they corrected and they wanted a better grade?
I accidentally left mine here.
How?
I don't know.
Well, I can't help you there. Alright,
Can I bring it on Friday?
you wanting to correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it on Friday.
Okay. Thank you.
Bless you. Alright,